Revenue from their cloud computing unit, Azure, jumped 29%, but around 3 percentage points from that was tied to artificial intelligence, and investors really seem to be encouraged by that.
Yeah, that was pretty key, I think. It wasn't just the fact that we may be starting to see a bottom here for the cloud division, but actually it was the fact that those early bets Microsoft made in OpenAI and some of these AI applications are actually starting to be monetized and add to revenue. And I think when people look at Microsoft and investors are looking who's going to be the big AI winners, I think it's quite clear that Microsoft has taken an early lead. You compare that to what we saw with Google, cloud revenue miss. We saw a strong growth rate in cloud, 22% rise, but profitability is very thin at that division. I'll just give you the comparison. Google Cloud's operating income for the September quarter, $226 million. Microsoft's Intelligent Cloud operating income, same period, $11.75 billion. And so investors are paying here for Microsoft, and you saw the after hour was higher because of that strong profitability in the cloud, but now the fact that those AI bets are starting to pay dividends in the cloud division, and they're reading through for the future saying, well, if this trend is set to continue, Microsoft's made these developments, we think it's going to be a big deal for cloud.
Yeah. Microsoft has an incredible history of beating expectations. It seems like quarter after quarter they beat, and the stock perform as well. What was their guidance like in the outlook that they provided moving forward? Are they going to be able to keep beating?
Yeah, so it looks like with Azure, they're predicting somewhere around 26% growth, a slight slowdown to what they saw now, but clearly still strong enough that the market was happy with that and happy with the current quarter. So that was something they're predicting. They're looking like they're going to continue with pretty strong momentum, I think, in double-digit growth in terms of overall revenue. So it's looking like Microsoft can continue to eke out gains, continue to grow pretty strongly in what is quite a tough macro environment. We heard about customers continuing to cut spend on the cloud, but when you're a Microsoft, and it'll be interesting to see how Amazon plays out, the two biggest cloud players in the world, when you're with these size of companies, they often have a lot of stickiness with the customers. They often have the ability to offer customers good deal in these kind of environments, and it seems like that's what's playing out this moment in the cloud for Microsoft.
Let's just compare that with what's happening with Alphabet. And here as well, just looking at the numbers, their own cloud business grew 22%. That is double the growth that it's experiencing amongst its other business segments, but still only $20 million below expectations. And yet we saw a huge downward reaction to the stock, Arjun. Was it all because of disappointment in its cloud business, or are there other things at play here as well?
I think the context going into this is quite important. Alphabet had a sort of 57% rally this year. Microsoft had about 38%. So clearly there were high expectations. How do you justify these moves from Alphabet? And what the market wanted to see, I think, was that Alphabet was firing on all cylinders. And it was good in the sense that the core ad business remained strong. YouTube ad revenue was ahead of expectations. And there were some positive signs that even again in a market where customers are cutting back on advertising, Alphabet and Google more broadly managed to continue to grow ad revenue, and that was the concern. They allayed those fears. But then to justify that rally, it was what else does Alphabet have? And the other big bet they've made is on cloud, and cloud being a significant both revenue and profit driver for the company. That's not materialized as of yet, and it's unclear at this point where Google's AI investments are paying any kind of dividend and contributing to revenue. That's not happened yet. So I think that pullback we saw overnight was a reflection of that. Now, it was quite big, but not huge. And I think it's just that sort of bit of money off the table, a little bit of pause, and now wait and see on what Alphabet has to offer. They have a big new AI foundational model called Gemini set to launch in the coming months. So this is a big focus for investors. What does this do in terms of Google's value proposition here in AI? And can they replicate the success that Microsoft so far has seen with their AI products in the cloud?